Hey everybody, I'm Mike Baird. If you're into drum stuff, or you like reviews of drum gear, or maybe even an interview with somebody I've worked with or known in the entertainment and music business, and maybe even a story about me in the music business, welcome to Mike's Drum Cubby. Welcome, covers, to another episode of Mike's Drum Cubby, the channel I created for you, the covers. Well, today we got a unique one. I'm calling this one, You Be the Judge. And the reason for that is, it's a drum I got, it sounded great as it was, and then I decided to change it. So I thought, I'm going to do kind of a double thing in this episode, give you a before and after. So you're going to tell me whether you think it sounded better before or after I got done with it. So as usual, we're going to go in, you're going to see and hear me play it. I'm going to talk about the drum. Then we're going to guess the weight of the drum. We're going to do that. I'm going to share a story about how I got it. And then a little story about me in the music business. So stick around. And if you dig the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell so you get that notification when a new cubby comes up. Give me thumbs up, send me comments. Well, let's get to it. The Remo 6.5 by 14. So this is a 6.5 by 14 Remo. This is their Acousticon shell, which is not, it's depressed wood fibers put into a mold and injected with resin. That's what creates the shell. You can see it says Acousticon. It's an 8-lug drum. I got it as is. So this video is like a before and after kind of deal. Came with this reverse center dot head, which I'm not a big fan of. As you can see, it's not exactly flat. It's got some areas in it where the light's showing through. I didn't bother fixing it. It has an old Ludwig head on the bottom. You can see how it's, kind of dimpled and messed up. So I changed the wires. I changed the bottom head. I'll get into more of that later. The wrinkle in the finish is just that. It's literally a wrapped drum, as you know, because it's that Acousticon shell. The drum's not dented. So anyway, here's the throw off, the butt end, the lug, and there you have it. Okay, here we go. So we got tuning here. Maybe go lower, but we'll start there. So let's check this out. Shot. Okay, we got a little higher tuning, and it kind of wants to crap out here, and it sounds better down below, at least with this head configuration on it. So anyway, here we go. Rim shot. So here we go. I tuned it kind of way down. It's kind of dead, but that's okay. Sounds pretty good, actually. And maybe, here we go. Rim shot. Okay, so we got tuning is about here. Okay, and everything's been replaced. Everything's really good. The only thing is, as you notice, this is the old head. I didn't have a center dot head, couldn't find a ring. Bottom head's replaced, new wires. That's all good. So tuning again is here. And I just figured I'd put the old head back on it because it was kind of a dead drum and that's where it kind of wants to live anyway. So here we go. Rim shot. All right, now we'll put a little piece of padding up here just to get rid of that sympathetic ring. So tuning's still here. And we'll try this. Rim shot. All right, tuned it up, tweaked the snares just a tad. You need to be a little looser, I think. Anyway, so here we go. Rim shot. All right, now we'll put a little piece of padding to get rid of that little sympathetic ring. And we'll try this, same tuning. Nothing else changed, here we go. Rim shot. Okay, we're back. Would anybody like to guess the weight of this drum? Hit it! £7, 1.3 ounces. Okay, here we go. Everybody. So anyway, so this is a drum that I got. I found it online, and they're odd that find a 6.5. There's lots of 5s around, but I just wanted a 6.5. I have a piccolo, which there's an episode I do about that one, and that one's really cool too. So this is a drum that I got. I got it way on the cheap. I got it way cheap, and of course, you know, it wasn't in the best of shape, whatever. But you know, these shells, they don't really go out around. Now the shell itself, as you can see, had the edges could be done or whatever, and whether that would make it better or worse, who really knows? I'm honestly not going to spend the money to fix it.
Really?
So it's not that important. But it came and it had this mojo to it, and I really dug it. And I sent a video to some friends of mine that are way into the drum thing like I am, and like you are, maybe some of you anyway. And I was like, you know, I don't want to touch it, even though it's kind of really messed up, because it had this mojo to it, and I really kind of dug it. And it's kind of a one-trick pony. I mean, whether you tune it up, tune it down, it's just kind of this dead, you know, kind of vibe to it. But it's cool. Well, anyway, I decided I was going to play it until it started going south. And then once it starts going south, I got to replace everything because I can't take it in the studio and all of a sudden it just goes to hell in a handbag. So I got to fix it. So I played it before, and that's what you hear, and then you hear the after when it changed all things. And of course, I didn't have a center dot head, which I really wanted, but I had changed it to a regular coated ambassador, which is kind of my go-to heads for a lot of my drums. And just didn't sound very good at all. And I was like, oh no, here we go. So now, am I going to trash this drum or what the deal was? And I thought, I didn't have a ring. I'm just going to put the old head back on. I think it sounds pretty good, but I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you think. That's what I was saying. You be the judge. Well, anyway, I got it for I think about $72, including shipping to my house. And I just cleaned it up a little bit after this video, changed all the wires, like I said, and changed the bottom head. Top head's still the old head, which I kind of dig. I just kind of dig it what it is. And, as far as old heads go, you talk to James Gatson about that one. I mean, his heads were like ancient history. I remember that's a whole other story, but I'll share that one. It was a great story. My first meeting with James Gatson. Anyway, I'll save that for another episode. And now, a moment with Mike. All right, the story for today goes like this. I get a phone call, and the studio that I worked at occasionally, a small little studio, was kind of like a mom and pop studio. They didn't do really super high-end projects there. They did kind of more budget-friendly, type things, just kind of medium studio. It wasn't a Conway or Capitol or Western or, it was just kind of this nice little medium studio. And they always got a good sound there. Engineer had a staff engineer. They were really good. Anyway, the guy says, we've got this project and we're doing it and we'd love to have you come and play. We got 2 songs. But the thing is, we already have our drum set set up. We already have a sound on it. Would you mind playing on our kit? And I'm usually one of those that's very apprehensive about playing on somebody else's stuff in the studio because you don't know what they have or how they've been played on or what, but they got a sound on it, whatever. He goes, oh, it'll be great. We'll get you in and out, whatever. And I'm like, well, what do I need to bring? And he goes, oh, just bring some cymbals, stick bag, and a bass drum pedal. And I'm thinking, okay, no snare. Nope. We got a sound on everything. Fantastic. Okay. So I show up, I see everybody. Hey, how you doing? This, that, and the other thing. And then as I'm walking towards the kit, the producer's telling me, yeah, we just had Carmen Appice in here and he just left and then we're going to do you and then we're done with the drum tracks. And I'm like, what?
Are you freaking kidding me?
Carmen Appice, great drummer, heavy rocker, Vanilla Fudge, tons of rocker stuff. I mean, a sheer pounder, dude. I mean, he's a great player, but I'm thinking like, oh no, what did I walk myself into this time? So sure enough, I sit down at this kit and the drum heads look like the surface of the moon. Yep. They're all dented to shit, big divots in them. They look horrible. On top of that, they're center dot heads, like this head on the snare drum, which is fine. They're dead sounding heads, and they sound good. They'll sound good when they're new usually, but on a tom where you need the resonance, they're now dented the shit out of. I mean, they're just like, they look like crap. And I'm like, oh my God. On top of it, that was during the time everybody wanted to use power toms. And power toms were, for the tom-toms were usually like, say if it's an 8x12, it'd be an 8x14. So they have a very limited range. They sound good in a certain range and that's about it. Right? You can't go up or lower, not like, stuff like today. So I got these heads that are beat to shit. I got these toms that only sound decent in a certain range. And here we go. The reason why I don't like playing on somebody else's stuff in the studio. They sound like ass. I'm like, you have some new heads, right? Oh no, we don't have any new heads. I'm like, obviously, they didn't listen to these things after he got done with them. Well, so I'm tweaking and thinking, this just wow.
Oh shit, not good.
Well, I get through the date. I go in. The engineer was a good engineer, the staff engineer. He was a good engineer. And they sounded okay, and maybe with a lot of verb and whatever. I never got any phone calls or nobody ever said, wow, man, I heard that album you played on it, and man, the drums sounded like ass. But they didn't sound very good. Kick was fine, snare was fine, but the toms were like, oh my goodness, wow. Cymbals were good because I brought them, and that's all good. So anyway, that's why I usually don't do those kind of things, but I did, and there you have it. So that's my story for today. Well, we've come towards the end of another Mike's Drum Cubby, and it's been great having you. And this one's been kind of a unique one, and I'd like to hear your comments on that. And you be the judge. You tell me what you think about this snare, whether you like it, you liked it better before, you like it better after, or it's just a good sounding drum. And, if you got one, I'd love to hear how yours sound. Anyway, if you dig the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Click on the little bell that gives you notifications when I do a new cubby. Give me thumbs up. Send me the comments. Love to hear them. Anyway, what do we always say when we get to the end?
And that's it.
And we'll see you in a minute.